It's me, Wayman, and I want to come on and do a quick video. Getting ready to go on the Labor Day camping trip to my buddy's place, and they live down near Gettysburg, so it should be a good time. But I want to come on and tell you about something interesting that happened. There's always something interesting going on, and so my parents came up, and they came to visit, and we went to a local fair. Oh man, I love the fair. And had videos posted before of fairs that I've been to, and love eating pizza at the Youth for Christ, the Jesus tent. Oh, good stuff. But this is a different fair because I moved, and my parents came up. My mom is now 79, and she walked the whole day, and I was tired out before she was, so she still has a lot of energy left, and feeding her ice cream and all kinds of stuff. So we had a nice time. My dad was there too. Uh, he was telling me about all the horse-drawn farm equipment because he used to use some of that stuff. So it was a great day. Had a good time with my family and very enjoyable. So we were going, and we passed by a tent, and there was a evangelical proselytizer out there, another Jesus tent. And friends, I got Jesus jumped. So he had a bracelet of beads, and there were colored beads. One was gold, one was black, one was red, and one was white. And they all symbolized something. So he wanted to sit down and tell us about it. And the question was, is everybody going to heaven here? And if you died tonight, do you know that you would go to heaven? And both my parents are very pious, evangelical, and they said yes, they would go to heaven. I didn't say anything. So the guy says, well, let's sit down and I'll just go over my little sermon here and you might like it. So I sit down with my parents and they go through the whole thing and he tells what the beads are and this whole thing. So by the end of the thing, I feel that I'm being targeted in some way because I haven't been responding at all. I just been going with it. And so he asked my mom, are you going to heaven? And he asked me. I said, no, I'm a skeptic, I'm an agnostic, and there's a lot of things that I don't believe about it, or that I'm unsure of, so I don't know. And my dad says, yeah, I believe I'm going. And so then the debate started. I didn't want to hold my parents there for the full 4 hours it would have took to have the full-on debate. So I had to think a quick way out, I was in a jam. Because here my dear mother, who's very pious, is also comes from the King James Version crowd, the King James Version only authoritative text crowd, So she was there and she was pushing that a little bit, and I thought that was fun, so I was kind of egging her on. So I was looking for a quick way out because my parents shouldn't be dragged through that whole thing just because I'm a non-believer. I respect their beliefs. I appreciate what they do, and the belief system has done wonders for them, and it's been beneficial. But for me, it has not been. It's been very damn. So, thinking quickly, the guy's talking about sin and how people, because they're humans, they sin every day. So a thought entered my mind that possibly I knew what denomination this guy was from, and I would create a debate between him and my mom rather than me doing it, between the denominational differences of the theology. So I say to my mom, Mom, is that true if you're saved and you repent that you will sin every day even though you're a believer? And my mom's not a Calvinist, but she's an Arminian, and hopefully I said that right. And she says, no. If you are saved and have the second work of grace and sanctified, you will not sin every day because the sin nature is eradicated. So she's from the old Free Methodist John Wesley second work of grace, theology. Oh, it worked perfect. So they got into a debate there. And luckily I said, once everybody gets on the same page, then it would be a little bit more believable. Because the good Lord has created all these things. However, he can't create a system that everybody would agree on. And it was amazing. So I just walked away from that one. But at the same time, he's later, and my mom was saying, oh, I don't know why he's such a skeptic. He went to college and he came back thinking. So I'm like thinking, oh, great, those lib colleges. So there's a lot of preconceived notions, and even how the gentleman was approaching non-believers, I think was wrong. I would really like to go back and maybe talk to him again about it, full bore, and have the full-on debate about it, and point out some of the reasons, because I was just dismissed as the typical, stereotypical, oh, I went through that stage too kind of thing. But I don't think he really knows exactly why, only what he was told within the belief system on why. And there's a huge misunderstanding about that. And also, same with non-believers viewing believers. Immediately when I seen him, I knew he wasn't all that conservative because of his dress. Different denominations have different dress codes. And I found out that he was divorced, and he says, well, I know how you feel sometimes because, I couldn't teach at a church because I was divorced. So right there, I could have had a full-on debate about relating that to non-believers and how they would feel being rejected by communities of religious people and looked down upon, because he felt it there. But I didn't want to get into all that with my good parents sitting there under the tent in 86-degree weather, right? We were thinking about maybe going and getting a lemonade. But it was awesome. Usually every fair, I run into Jesus people, and we have some really good debates. Maybe sit in the Baptist tent, have a coffee, and go over things. I can't turn down a good debate. But that day, I got Jesus jumped with my parents, and even though the short period of time, it was interesting and fun. I wish it could have went longer. Had they not been there, it would have, and something would have actually got discussed. But I love my parents, and I didn't really want to drag them through that because they're good people. But so I got a lot of stuff going on here. Besides that, I've been putting in some bookcases. I'll show you that when I get them all done. I got to stain them and finish them and put them back into the wall. A bookshelf tour. I picked up a really good book on Jewish customs from the Jewish Publication Society Bible, and unfortunately, with all the housework going on, I haven't really had time to read. But this is the video. Take care, friends. Have a good holiday. Be well, and remember, if everybody's thinking alike, then somebody isn't thinking.